You're not supposed to be eating that, are you? Hello guys, welcome to another blue update video. So this is pretty much a direct continuation of our last little blue update video. I'm just kind of like recording little bits every day or every sort of other day, just to sort of, I can smell mint. He's eating mint. He's managing to get the mint through the fence from the garden. Oh goodness. But yeah, I'm just trying to sort of like capture little bits as the days go on, just to keep like a record of how we're doing with him. We've got to a point where we're going to start letting him out in the yard. I'm going to do it like controlled for now. So he's been out for about 20 minutes now. And he's just kind of mooching around, picking up any bits of food he can find, which I'm a little bit nervous about, but at the same time, like he's gonna end up going back on grass at some point, so it's like, it's gonna happen, it's gotta happen. I need to just get over it, really. He had a little nibble of some green stuff when I had him tied up, hanging out with Woody the other day, and like, he's not any worse off for it. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean I'm gonna go and chuck him out in a half-acre field tomorrow morning. That's absolutely not the case. But I think a few little scraps of greenery that are lurking around the corners of the yard, I don't think is gonna kill him. Well, I certainly bloody hope it's not gonna kill him. I may be eating these words in the future, but I think we're okay. He's not that bad. He's still doing really good progress-wise, so you can see him walking here, actually. No, Blue, you're not allowed the hay ball because you break it. You don't need a hay net. No. No, stop looking for mischief. Blue, you can't have the hay ball. How many treat balls have you broken, huh? And they're expensive, and I'm not giving that to you because you'll break it. Please don't break my hose reel. No. No. Why? Why are you like this? Go on, leave it alone, vandal. Oh yeah, you had to kick it, didn't you? Of course you did. You had to have the final say. Flipping menace. But yeah, he's doing really, really good. So he is still on Butte, although tomorrow should really be his last day on the Butte, and then we'll see where he's at. So the instructions were to keep him on it for a week and keep him on enough of it for him to be comfortable. I think I should be expecting a phone call from the vet either tomorrow or the day after to check in and see where we're at with him. But he's improved massively. I mean, I'll pop in a clip from like day one for you guys for comparison. And yeah, as you can see, he's improved massively. Now, it'd be interesting to see how he is once he comes off of the painkillers. Hopefully it's not going to be a big change, if any change at all. I mean, he's very, very comfortable. He is very, very comfortable. And even when it's getting to the point in the day where his last dose of painkillers would be kind of like wearing off or worn off by that point, like he is still comfortable. Like there's not a noticeable difference between, you know, when he's just had his pain meds, obviously giving him enough time for it to, you know, activate in his system. There's not that much difference between that time of the day and the time of the day when everything's going to be wearing off. So that, I think, is a good sign. Yeah, he's happy to be out, bless him. He's happy having a little mooch. I don't want him out like unattended at this point, just because I don't want him doing too much movement. So I've done a lot of research into laminitis. And like I said in one of the previous videos, like I know some stuff about it, but it's not something that we've ever dealt with our own horses. So I don't know a ton about it. So I have been doing a lot of research. And one of the things that people flag up as being very important is to not allow the horse to get too carried away and do too much movement too quickly after they're feeling better and after the pain's subsided, because and I always say this word wrong, the lamine, is that the right word? The tissue in the hoof, basically, the tissue that is inflamed and sore when they have laminitis, that can stay kind of like in a delicate state for a little bit of time after a laminitis episode, apparently. Please don't take any of what I'm saying as gospel, by the way. This is stuff, like, a lot of this is new information to me. Like I said, I had a very surface level knowledge of laminitis up until a week ago, and now I'm trying to learn more in-depth stuff about it. And I'm one of those people that I'll go to like 10 different resources to try and gather different information from different places, from different perspectives, from different like different levels of expertise, because I like to get my information from different places, so it's not biased. You know, I don't like just having one person's opinion or information from one scientific study. I like to look at all the information that I can find. But yeah, that was sort of a bit of information that I came across, was that it is important to try and keep them fairly settled, even after they're looking better, just to make sure that those feet have plenty of time to heal and settle down, because otherwise you can run the risk of having the laminitis come back quite quickly. So what I think I want to do with him is kind of like do this for a few days. So let him out for like an hour, maybe 2 while we're here, so he gets a good leg stretch, because he desperately needs that. Like, he is not a horse that confines well. He's very active, he's very intelligent. He does not cope well with being shut in, and he does not cope well with not doing anything. So this has been particularly hard for him. But even taking his particular personality out of the mix, I hate box rest. I think it is something that should only be used as an absolute last resort. I think it's so bad for them, physically and mentally. It's not healthy, it's not natural. Horses are not designed to stand in a small space 24/7. It's just so wrong, and it's so bad for them. So I want to try and like find a balance between making sure he's resting enough, but also not forcing him into that, what I consider to be very unhealthy situation for any longer than he has to be in it. So we're going to do this for a couple of days, gradually increase his time. My hope is that by the weekend we can maybe leave him out here overnight. So maybe do like a night and day split. So have him out in the yard overnight so he can wander around. He's still got access to a soft bed and all of that. And then get him in the day to kind of like force him to stand a bit stiller. I mean, he box walks like crazy anyway, so he's never going to be completely still. But I'm thinking maybe having him in the day just to force him to kind of like rest a little bit more, and then let him out at night so he gets to have that leg stretch and, you know, decompress and be a horse a little bit and mooch about and do stuff and find mischief. Yes. All right, time to get him back in. Let's see if he's going to come in happily, or if I'm going to have to go drag him in. Baloo! Come on, darling, time to come in. Had a good little leg stretch, haven't you? Come on. Yeah, see, it's still a bit sore on that gravel, isn't it? Well, yeah, that was another thing, actually. So we've just measured him up about half an hour ago. Just measured him up for some hoof boots. I found a company that I think might actually sell hoof boots big enough for him. But it's not just the size of his feet that's the problem, it's like the dimensions of them. So he's got really wide feet, like really wide feet. And so it's kind of problematic, but I'm thinking I have found a place that might have a boot to fit him. So I'm going to send all those photos off in a little bit, and we're going to see if we can get you some booties. Yeah. If not, I'm just going to have to get some custom made for him, aren't I? Like, he needs booties. I really want to protect those feet if we can. Come on, dude. Oh, have you stood on a stone? Oh, see, you're good on this stuff, aren't you? You're good on the concrete. Yeah, see, he is absolutely fine on concrete and on rubber mats, like on smooth surfaces. He's just a little bit ouchy on gravelly surfaces, but in all honesty, he's always a bit ouchy on the gravelly surfaces because he is barefoot and he has particularly crappy feet. So I'm trying not to read too much into that, because that is, I mean, I would say he's a little bit ouchier on the gravel than he normally would be, but like a fraction, like a tiny fraction. So I don't think I'm going to worry too much about that. But again, yeah, we'll see what the vet says. We'll see what the vet says, won't we, darling? Are you happy? Are you happy you've had a little leg stretch and you've had a mooch about and you've snuck yourself a few blades of grass, haven't you, you cheeky bugger? I better not make you sick again. No, better not make you sick. Is your hay nicer like this? Is that better? So I've been doing some research, actually. But yeah, I did a little bit of research into hay soaking as well. So he likes wet hay. He's always a hay dunker. He even dunks his haylage, like he's always been a dunker. But he was really struggling with the soaked hay. And to be honest, it doesn't look very appetizing. So generally speaking, when people have horses with laminitis, they tend to soak hay overnight. I know the last time I dealt with horses with laminitis, which was only a few years ago to be fair, that has always been the practice. You've always soaked hay, like fully submerged, for like 8 to 12 hours has always been the recommendation. So yeah, it turns out you don't need to soak the hay for that long to reduce the sugar content. Now I do need to do a little bit more research into this. I want to find some more articles and papers to cross-reference this with. But I was reading one this morning that was saying that soaking the hay for 30 minutes can reduce the sugar content by like 30 to 40%, which is quite substantial for only a 30-minute soak. So like I said, I need to do a little bit more research into that, just to confirm that we're going to be getting enough sugar out of it. I mean, this hay net was soaked for about an hour today, and he's enjoying it much, much more. And it kind of looks like hay still. So I've been finding that by soaking the hay overnight, like, you know, your 8 to 12 hours kind of soaks, it's coming out in the morning and it's really brown and sodden and sad looking. And it doesn't smell very nice. It doesn't look very nice. It doesn't feel very nice. And there is some research again that I've come across that has advised that soaking hay for long periods of time can actually be sort of more detrimental than good, because the sugar content is stripped out far earlier on. And then the longer you leave it in, you start stripping out other nutrients that the horse actually needs, and the hay can even start to kind of like decompose a little bit. It can start to break down a bit when you're doing those really long soaks. Again, this is kind of like new territory to me. So this is a lot of information that's flying around in my head right now. Like I said, I'm going to all different places looking for information. If anybody kind of like is listening to any of this thinking, whoa, where did you get that from? That is BS. Don't do that. Then please tell me, because like I said, surface level knowledge, fairly good, but in-depth knowledge needs work, which is what I'm trying to do at the moment. But yeah, that was something that I learnt. So I'm going to be looking to implement shorter soak times. Another thing I'm very tempted to do actually is get hay analysis done. I need to look into prices for that. I might talk to my vet about that and find out how we might go about doing that. Because not all hay would technically need to be soaked depending on what the natural sugar content is in it. So obviously you can buy haylage, like horse haylage, for example. They supply haylage bales, and obviously they've done analysis on all of their products, but you can buy haylage from them that is suitable for laminitic ponies because the sugar levels in it are low enough for it to be safe for them to eat. So I need to find out if we even really need to be soaking our hay for him. Now, I'm guessing probably yes we do, because this is fresh cut hay. This is this year's hay, and it does have a very sweet smell to it. So my gut would say yes, we probably do need to do it. But it would be interesting if I can figure out how to and whether or not I can afford to get that done. That would be a really interesting thing to do. I don't know if maybe you can do like pasture analysis as well. Is that a thing? I know they do it for sheep and stuff like that. To like check for mineral levels for sheep. I know that's a thing. Maybe that could be something I could look into as well. Anyway, my brain is full of stuff. It's like in there. There's like, it's kind of like 100 cats chasing 100 different lasers in my head right now. Like I just, blah. Anyway, I need to go feed the rest of them because they're looking very sad and forgotten about right now. Mr. Woodster. Nelly Lou, hi, do you want your dinner? Do you want your din-dins? And Stumpy, bless her, is right down there. Stumps! I don't even know if you guys will be able to see her. Stumpy! No, she's not going to make an appearance in the tiny gap. Anyway, I will catch up with you guys after I've spoken to the vet. I'm going to stop waffling at you now, sort my ponies out, and go and get some dinner because I'm hungry. I bet Nellie's saying, yeah, I'm hungry too. Feed me. All right, babe, I'll get you dinner now. Oh, Stumpy's leaning under the fence. Cheeky pony. Right, so, little update. We are about a week and a half into our laminitis recovery journey now. And I actually spoke to the vet. The vet called me earlier today and we had a little chat about Mr. Blueberry here. She's happy with the fact that he's made good progress with his soundness. And basically what our plan now is to... Sorry, my head's not working very well. I'm going to start that again. So I spoke to the vet today. She seems quite happy with where we're at with Blue so far. So I have actually cut his painkillers down by a half now. And she said that, so he's basically been getting 1 packet twice a day instead of the 2 packets twice a day. And as of today, I'm cutting him back to 1 packet once a day, which she's basically said is like a really tiny dose for a horse of his size. So if he's okay on that, then really he's going to be okay with none. So kind of the plan from here on out is to wean him off of the pain meds now, see where we're at once I've got him off of them. And then the advice I've been given is that providing he stays sound off of the pain meds for a good week, a good solid week, then we can start gradually reintroducing him back to grazing and turnout and stuff like that. So we're just kind of carrying on with what we've been doing up until this point. He's still having his soaked hay. I'm not doing like a 12-hour overnight soak. I have done quite a bit of research into that. And I'm happy doing a shorter soak, like between 30 minutes and an hour. I've read up on it quite a bit. And I feel like I'm happy with that. I've read enough about it that I'm happy with that for our situation. Now, obviously, if you've got a vet that's advising you to do otherwise, then listen to them. But we seem to be moving in the right direction, so I think we're doing okay with that. He's a lot happier eating it. It looks a lot more palatable. I don't know if maybe it was the weather was affecting it, where it was so hot as well, but it was just coming out after an overnight soak, and it was just brown and not quite slimy, but almost slimy. Like, it was just really, really horrible. It wasn't nice at all. So that's working a lot better. He has lost a little bit of weight already, which is good. I want to get a lot more off of him. He is going to spend the rest of his life lean now. He is going to be lean, mean, muscled up showing machine, that one. We're not having flab on him anymore. We're going to have to be very strict, very observant. And yeah, not a lot else has changed really. He's kind of got to a level of soundness and kind of stayed there. So on the concrete, he's pretty sound. He's really good with his turns and his tight circles and everything like that. He's just a little bit footy out on the gravel out here. And it seems to be slightly more in one front foot than the other. But like I said to the vet earlier, that's not uncommon for him to be footy on that gravel. So I'm trying not to read too much into it. Now, obviously, if the story changes after we wean him off of his pain meds, then we're going to have to go back to the drawing board and rethink. But with the way things have gone so far, we think that it was just a mild case. Like we said previously, I think lots of things kind of stacked up against him. So we had the lameness earlier in the year, then the cut in his heel bulb, and then he had a really bad time with his feet this year anyway, and then he's had quite a hard trim, and he's putting his foot through the fence. Blue! Anyway, yeah, we're about a week and a half in, and he's almost pretty much sound again, so looking good, and he's doing my head in, so he's clearly feeling better. Catch up with you guys in a few days and let you know if anything changes. Bloody horse. Seriously, Blue? Oh, I give up. I actually give up. I need a padded cell to keep that thing in check. Morning, answer. Nice and steady. Good job. So we are currently on, oh, stumps. I don't think he wants to share, honey. Oh dear. Okay, so we're currently on day 12 of Blue's recovery. So I'm calling it day 12. So it's been 12 days since we had the vet out. So that would make it 12 days since he started on the pain meds and his recovery journey. So yeah, we're on day 12. And as you can see, he's looking pretty good. He has lost some weight. I'm not going to lie, I think I was in a little bit of denial about his weight. So Blue carries his weight in weird places, and I think it's kind of slipped past the radar a little bit. So with Nelly and with Stumpy and with most horses that I've known, when they start to put on weight, they'll start to get fat pads on their shoulders. They'll start to get really crusty. You'll start to see fat pads up on the rump and places like that. Blue doesn't really get any of that. He gets it all around his rib cage. And I think that's why the vet brought up EMS as a possibility. So yeah, he carries all of his fat around his rib cage. And actually I've been kind of like poking and prodding him and like analysing his body condition like in more depth. And actually he is really podgy around his ribs. But he's not crusty. He doesn't have any fat on his shoulders, and you can feel his hip bone. So it is literally just concentrated to that mid region of his body, which is interesting. I hadn't really noticed it, to be completely honest with you. So yeah, he's lost a little bit of weight. I can kind of feel a bit more of his ribs now, which is good. He's pretty comfortable, as you can see. Oh, don't push it under the wire. You'll lose it, silly boy. So this has become part of our daily routine now. So for about the last 4 days now, I've been putting him out in the yard for anywhere between an hour and a few hours a day. I've been giving him his treat ball, just to encourage him to have a little walk around. Now obviously we don't want him doing too much because we need his feet to recover, but at the same time, I'm very conscious of the fact that he has been in his stable. You know, he's been on box rest for about a week solid. Obviously, he was having a small amount of leg stretch time, like maybe 10, 15 minutes, and that was about it. And I'm just very conscious of the fact that that is incredibly bad for a horse. So I've just been giving him the treat ball out in the yard here just to encourage him to sort of move around a little bit. And it's not excessive movement, because obviously he's stopping every few strides to pick up the treats that are coming out of the ball. So I think this has been working quite well. It's getting him moving, but he's not overly moving. So I'm kind of happy with how this has been going. The only downside is he's like pro level skill at that treat ball now. And so he gets everything out so quickly. It's really frustrating. I don't know. I need to find a way of making it harder for him, but I don't know how. But that keeps him occupied for maybe 10-15 minutes or so. Having Stumpy out here is a new thing. So I've been putting her in the yard. So she's been in like this yard while he's in his stable, just so he's had some company. But this is the first time I've had him turned out with her. So far they don't seem very, well, she's interested in the food ball, but he's not interested in her because he's got the food ball. And she's following behind him, hoping he's missed a few. You're funny, Stumps. Bless her. He's not much of a sharer, is he, Sweet Pea? And, oh dear. This is the downside of having a treat ball when the ground's wet. Look at that little nose. Absolutely filthy. And yeah, this is where we're at. He's looking pretty good. He did actually have a little bit of a cheeky trot out there yesterday. When I went to try and catch him and bring him in, he didn't want to come in because the sun was shining and it was beautiful and he wanted to stay out. And he actually did like 3 or 4 strides of trot away from me. Now, I didn't get to watch it because he damn nearly run me over. He kind of like bolted past me when I tried to go catch him. But yeah, that's the first little trot he's offered since he came in sore. So that was kind of positive. And he's definitely been upping the attitude. He's been walking around more confidently. So I think everything's kind of moving in the right direction. As for like care routine, nothing's really changed. I mean, other than increasing his outside time and his, you know, giving him more opportunity to move around, nothing else has really changed. Like I said, he's still on the pain meds. I'm still doing intermittent hoof soaks, but not as many now. So cold water soaking in the buckets. The only other thing I would say I've been doing is I've really been up in the ante on his hoof care. So obviously those of you who have been around for a little while know that Blue has just got the worst feet ever. He gets like hoof wall separation issues going on, which we think is down to infections in his white line, so white line disease or seedy toe. It seems to be like interchangeable terms, and we've dealt with this for a long time with him. It's like we can kind of improve his situation, but we never seem to be able to quite get rid of it. And I think that is one of the things that has contributed to him going down with laminitis. Because his hoof walls just keep breaking away. Not in the same way as they used to. Like, they're definitely better than they used to be. I mean, in the old days, we used to get huge chunks of hoof wall like that, just coming off, just breaking off. So we have definitely improved his situation, but we just can't ever seem to quite get rid of the problem fully. So I've been doing a lot of research into that, and I'm really coming down hard on his hoof health, his hoof hygiene. I might make a separate video about that, to be honest, kind of going in depth into what I've been doing with that. But the long and the short of it is that it's involved lots of cleaning, lots of scrubbing, lots of really cleaning out any gaps he's got in his feet, like really deep cleaning, and lots of lotions and potions going on his feet. I think the change in his feed is going to help him as well. Interestingly enough, so since he's gone low sugar, you may have heard me joke in videos, or I may have cut it out, I can't remember. Surely there's been a few comments that have slipped into the videos before about him having a bit of a stinky willy, stinky diddler. It's always been a problem he's had, and we've noticed over the last week, since he's gone low sugar, he's not got a stinky diddler anymore. So has he had a yeast infection up there for all these years? Possibly. I mean, we don't know for sure, but it certainly looks like that. And he seems to be less itchy as well. So we've had him naked. Obviously, he's not really been outside much, so he's not been exposed to insects, but he's been naked in his stable for almost 2 weeks now. He's had a few scratches, but nothing excessive. And that bald patch on his mane is growing back. Like he's got a mohawk now. That bald patch that has not wanted to grow back for about the last 12 months, he's got that much mane there now. Like he's almost got enough for a comb over. He's coming this way. Might be able to see, like, it's filling in a little bit. Again, and that's all happened in the last couple of weeks since he's been in and he's been on this low sugar diet. So we're kind of like putting pieces together here thinking, okay, clearly what we've been feeding has been a big, big problem. So yeah, we need to do some more research into that and kind of look a bit deeper into that. But yeah, it seems that we've unintentionally resolved a couple of problems just by making some really simple changes to his feed, which is quite eye-opening, really. Blue, doing stuff like that is why your feet are still sore, mate. What are you like, huh? I see you've helped yourself to things. Why is that bucket there? That's not where I left that. You've got the spray bottles as well and the Hibby scrub. Were you trying to wash your own feet or something? Oh dear. Can't see the rest of the children. Don't know what they're up to. I can see Nelly. She's having a good Sunday snooze. I swear they know when it's Sunday. Yes, okay. Should we get you in, get you some breakfast, get your feet cleaned up, and you can come in and chill for the day, can't you? You're not looking too bad. I think you were mostly just struggling on the stones, weren't you? Yes. Oh, right. Just gonna sit here for a second. So, Blue update. We're on day. And I got to think. We're about 2.5 weeks now since I had the vet out to see him. I'm trying to do maths and my brain isn't getting there. Day 18, I want to say. I think we're about day 18 into Blue coming down with laminitis. So last night was experimental. He's very peed off because his routine has changed. He doesn't like routine changes. But last night was experimental, so I decided to leave him out in the yard overnight. So what we've been doing for about the last 4 or 5 days is he's been going out in the yard during the day for like 8 to 10 hours, something like that. Which has been working okay. But the only downside with that is that it can be a bit problematic trying to get in and out of the fields and get other horses in and out when he's out there. So I decided to switch it around, put him on the night shift. It's what he does in the winter. That is his normal winter routine. And yeah, he looks a little bit ouchy. So he is off his painkillers now. He's been off his painkillers for a little over a week now. No, not quite a week. Hang on, I've got to think. When did I take him off the butte? No, it is about a week. I took him off the butte last weekend. Yeah, I took him off the butte last weekend. So yeah, it is about a week he's been off of it. And he's been doing pretty good. He has the occasional ouchie when he steps on a stone, which is not particularly uncommon for him, especially given the fact that his feet are so cruddy. And I'm just looking at him a minute ago, thinking he's done himself a mischief yesterday. So because he had a change of routine last night, and he had a change of when and where he gets his food, he had a massive, massive tantrum in his stable, and he kicked hell out of that door. Like, I don't think I've ever heard him kick that hard on that stable door before. Now, we have got the rubber matting on there, and I think that made him kick it harder because it wasn't as loud and annoying as it usually is. And so he really, really, really went to town on it. And I think he's probably hurt his foot a little bit doing that. Because you're an idiot, aren't you? Yes. Yes, you are. So I think he's probably done a little bit of an ouchie in one of his front feet doing that. Watching him walk out there, like I said, I feel like some days he looks really good, and then other days he looks not quite so good. And it's probably, like I said, due to the fact that he's done something stupid like that, or maybe he's stood on a stone a bit awkwardly, or he's done something else daft. God knows what he does when we're not here. I dread to think. Part of me always thinks it'd be fun to set a camera up and leave it running when I'm not here. And then the other part of me is like, do you know what? What I don't know can't hurt me, kind of thing. Like, maybe it's best if I don't know what they do when I'm not here. Are you happy now you've had your breakfast? Yeah? Are you happy now? I should probably put your hay into soak, shouldn't I? I didn't think of that. What we'll do your feet, mate, and then you can have your treat ball in your bedroom. And you can have your hay in a little bit, okay? Yeah. Oh, he's a funny beast. So yeah, I'm probably going to wrap this one up here. There's not an awful lot else to share with you guys at this point, really. If anything changes, I'll be sure to let you know. I'll probably pick up again. I'll probably pick up the next video once we start reintroducing him to grazing and let you guys know how we're going to go about doing that. But I think this is probably going to be his routine for the foreseeable. I'm probably going to go for another week with this. So I think maybe next weekend, providing there's no drastic changes in him, I think next weekend I might look at reintroducing him to grazing. So we're working on his field. We're getting that all fenced off. So yeah, I'll probably check back in with you guys then. All right, are we ready for our pedicure? Yes? Are we ready to have our footsies done? Yeah. Let's get it over with, shall we? Yeah. You are very good having your feet done, to be fair. I've got your rug now as well. Yeah, so I've got your rug to put on for when you go out in the yard, because you are getting a bit itchy now. We did have a slight thought and wonder if the sugar was making his itchiness problematic. So once he came off the sugar, his skin improved. But I think partly that has affected it, but also I think partly it was just because he was in for like 2 weeks and he didn't go outside at all. Now he's going outside again. He's getting itchy again, aren't you, big man? So we need to get your sweet itch rug back on. That's fine, that's no problem. Anyway, yes, I have a pony foot to deal with. Well, 4 pony foots to deal with. Yes, I'll catch up with you guys in a few weeks' time when hopefully we might be able to get him back out doing some grazing. And fingers crossed, not long after that, we might be able to start getting him back in a little bit of light work, which would be lovely. So yeah, catch up with you guys then.